The first thing I will recommend is draw a big rectangle in two bases. That's basically how I covered yesterday. A big rectangle and two bases. And literally draw them. Thank you. So I'm gonna draw a big rectangle. Here I can see that the bases are hexagons. So I'm gonna do the best that I can on a hexagon. Doesn't have to be that great, but literally draw a rectangle and the two bases. Now for the base, I'm looking at a hexagon, right? A regular polygon. Now remember the area of a regular polygon is perimeter times the apothem divided by 2. I see that each side is 11. There are 6 sides. So the perimeter is 66, right? 11 times 6. That's the perimeter. The apothem we can see is 9.5. You guys can see the apothem is 9.5. And I'm going to divide this by 2. But perimeter times the apothem divided by 2. That's what's going to give me the area of a polygon. So let me use a calculator for this. And I get 313.5. So each of the bases is 313.5, right? Just the base. Now, let me get the big rectangle in the center, right? The short side is the distance between the bases, right? Which is 10, good. Sometimes if you guys cannot see it, just ask yourself, which number has nothing to do with the hexagon, which in this case is 10. The long side of the rectangle is the perimeter of the hexagon, which is 66. So the big rectangle in the center is 66 by 10, 660. Then, just to finish it, add all three numbers. And you should get 1,287. Thank you. Remember, you got to think of it as a big rectangle in two bases. Are we okay?
Yeah, I did the same exact thing yesterday.
Really? Too big 1,287 though. If you want to, I'll take a look at it later on the step. All right, let's take a look at question number 2. Remember, always do a big rectangle and two bases. The bases this time look like rectangles. So I'm going to do a rectangle. To help you guys identify the base, I even put a rectangle there with 90-degree angles. Right, there's a rectangle that has 90-degree angles. When we look at it, it's an 11 by 2 rectangle. It's 11 by 2, so the area of it, I'm just going to go 11 times 2, which is 22. So each base is 22. Now, on the big rectangle, remember the short side, I'm asking myself, which number has nothing to do with my 11 by 2 rectangle? In this case, 5. The long side, what's the perimeter of the base? Right, it's an 11 by 2 rectangle at all the sides. It should be 26. Then for the rectangle in the center, I'm just going to go 26 times 5. 130. And to finish this, just add all these. And you should get 174. So remember, big rectangle in two bases. That's basically it. So far, so good? Yeah? Okay. All right, let's take a look at something like these. Remember, I'm going to start with a big rectangle. My bases this time look like triangles. So I'm going to get the area of a triangle. I know for the area of a triangle, I'm looking for the two numbers that cross at 90 degrees, which in this case is 3.1 and 12. So I know this is 12, kind of like the 12 from the top. So I'm just going to go 3.1 times 12. Because it is a triangle, I'm going to divide it by 2. And you should get that each of these is 18.6. Now for the big rectangle, right? The short side is the number that has nothing to do with your triangles, which in this case it's 6. The long side of the rectangle, you're adding all the sides of your triangle. I see my triangle, one side is 12, the other side is 4, the other side is 10. I'm going to add all three, which is 26, right? The perimeter of the triangle. So for the rectangle in the center, I'm just going to go 26 times 6, which is 156. And then I'm just going to add everything. And it gives me 193.2. Good? So far, so good. Even on the cylinder, my example number 4, I'm going to do a big rectangle. The bases in this case look like circles. For the circles, I do need the radius, which is from the center to the edge. This case, I'm giving you guys the diameter, right? 10 is the whole thing. I need the radius. I just need from the center to the edge, which I'm going to call it 5, right? Since the whole diameter is 10, I'm going to say the radius is 5. Now, the area of the circle will be 25 pi. I just went radius squared, right? 5 times 5. Then for the big rectangle in the center, the short side, remember I'm asking which number has nothing to do with my circles? 8. Now the long side is the distance around the circle. Since my radius is 5, I'm going to call this 10 pi. Because it's radius times 2, or how people call it diameter. 10 pi. So for the rectangle in the center, I'm just thinking 10 times 8, 80 pi. Then just to finish this, add everything. 25 plus 25 plus 80, that should give you 130 pi, or 130 pi. And that's it.